And then more on like your solo instrument performances, like playing cello for like I saw like Pokemon, Demon Slayer, Smash, Super Smash Bros. Like, how do you approach the performance to maintain like your personal voice, but also staying true to like such a monumental franchise's musical identity?
Well, there are two things that are simultaneously true. One, I'm not trying to maintain my own personal like voice when I do that. I just want to sound like what that scene needs, what that franchise needs. Two, I don't know how to not sound like myself. Like, for better or worse, and, you know, for me, you know, as someone who can be a perfectionist about my work, I would say for the worse, I am constantly aware of every single thing I do that is weird or abnormal or is just part of my technique. It's part of my style, part of my sound, where I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't do that. Now it lives forever in Death Stranding, I guess. Like, you know, I'll live with that. That's just the nature of being a musician. Like, you always are going to have a sound. Like, that's who you are. It's the way that your fingers touch the strings, or the way that your mouth forms the embouchure, or whatever it is that you do, the way that you hit the drums, it's always going to have your sound in it. And so what I've been really lucky about is that in the grand scheme of things, there are a lot of composers who either aren't so choosy about exactly how they want their cello to sound, and they're okay with my sound, or they've been working on things where my sound happened to be the right sound for what they need, for the feel they're looking for the vibe, or they trusted me to be able to bridge that gap to get to what their music needs. And I will say, being a composer and a performer, that is a huge leg up as the performer, because I understand the tech side as a composer. I understand what composers are looking for as a producer. I understand what kind of like deliverables would be good for them. And I know how to kind of read between the lines and do the things that they don't know how to ask for. So sometimes they might say, hey, I've got this line, here you go, and they'll send me the solo line, but I'll hear that they haven't recorded the ensemble, and I'll go, oh, are you recording live orchestra? No, we don't have the budget. Oh, well, I'll just track this for you and sweeten it for you so that you've got extra sound quality. Oh, I hear you doing this thing. There's a lot of space in this part of the mix. Is something filling this up later? I don't know. I think something should, but I hadn't figured it out. Okay, let me do some sound design for you. Here's some cool, weird stuff that I can just throw in. Oh, hey, I see you wrote a solo section here. Here's a solo based on what you wrote. Here's a solo based on what I think would feel most natural to give you kind of my artistic take on it. And here's an alternate version where, you know, we connect some tissue to this other thing that you sent me previously, where I'm kind of referencing some of your other thematic material because I think that it makes sense here. That kind of stuff can help elevate the quality of what a performer can bring to you.